we are going to be teaching, or I'm going to be teaching about how to set yourself up for success with automated marketing campaigns. So we're specifically going to be within InTouch, and just a little bit more about that customization and some of that automated featured focal points that can be done for you guys. So one thing that I love about InTouch is the fact that it really does take a lot of the guesswork and a lot of the hard work out there for you guys. You guys are so busy right now, more than ever. Specifically, since I'm in the Austin market, I'm hearing all these crazy multiple offers, and I'm sure it's no different in Dallas and Houston. So I'm really excited to help show you guys ways about connecting with your sphere with little upfront work done to you guys to help streamline that process along. One of the benefits of having InTouch is the fact that those automated touches can be done for you, and it can help with that automated touches for you to help have a familiar brand and a familiar presence with the people. The InTouch CRM really does allow those capabilities and that moderating for you guys. So it's a really wonderful way for you to stay in touch with not just your buyers, but also with your sphere. Our goal today is to talk about the customizations and the pieces within those pieces. We'll go live here in just a second to go over that capability and to help keep you at the forefront of your mind within your prospects and within your sphere. So I'm going to open up here in my new tab where my day always starts, and hopefully y'all's does too, which is opening up CB Desk on InTouch, CB Desk, and specifically with opening up InTouch. InTouch is one of our tiles on CB. Have it, guys. You can add the application up here at the top. They've also made it a lot easier for you guys to use these custom sort buttons. So that way, if you're ever looking for the application and you can't find it in a quick pinch, they've given you the ability to search by applications you most recently used, A through Z, and allowing the filtering capability to be much easier for you. One thing I will also point out before we get started, I think someone is not on mute, so I'm going to go ahead.
Stop.
Mute yourself. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions or comments. It's much more fun whenever we're interacting together. But one additional thing that I will point out to you guys is the really detailed InTouch Help Center that they have developed for you guys within the studio. You can access it in one of two ways. The first way is if you go down here to the bottom right-hand corner, you can click underneath there and get to the support button. You can also search for any frequently asked questions up here at the top, as well as browsing through the Help Center question mark up at the top. So when I click under that Help Center, guys, and alphabetical for you guys, just let's hope I can remember where InTouch falls under the alphabet. There we go, InTouch here. If I click under View All, I can see a little bit of guiding issues on there. It was just brought to my attention actually just a little bit ago that there's also a known issues tab that they've recently updated in order to have up-to-date issues. So if you're experiencing any problems within InTouch and you want to make sure that you're not alone, it's really helpful to browse some of those known issues to make sure that you can check with your field marketing team. I'm going to now go back into the desk, and I'm going to click now under the InTouch tile. Now, InTouch does give you the options to have a base as well as a pro account. For today's demonstration purposes, since I am using my personal account, I am a base user, but you do get some added bonuses within those InTouch Pro features. I'm not going to dive too much down some of those, but I will touch on a couple of them as we go through. With any of our applications, the best way to start is the account settings. Whether it's your first time using the applications or your 500th time, I think it's always a good idea to occasionally take the time and look through some of those touch points. So to get to your InTouch account settings, you would go up here to the top right-hand corner in the account and click underneath the My Account button. The first thing you will see, guys, is this blue edit button up here at the top left. This is a very helpful button, so that way you can click through the fields within here. This is a page that you do have to click the Save button, so make sure that if you do click the edit and you make any changes that you do save, but take the time and browse through some of these contact fields. One of the big ones for me to point out is this reply to email, that if you are setting up any campaigns that we're going to be talking about, if you have this message sent to your CRM email, or it's this .cb InTouch email, this messages portal is up here at the top right. Some agents like to have all their leads kind of be filtered through one that are going to be in the portal every. I recommend changing that reply to email to an email that you more frequently check. The marketing address and the marketing information over here, these are defaulted to be your office address, but you can absolutely customize this if you would like it to be somewhere else instead. The other ones that are down here, guys, are the updated designations, your website, as well as a couple other fields such as phone numbers. One tip that I give some of my agents is, even though I'm a Austin girl and have been for all my life, I still was cursed with a 2 number when I married my husband. So I recommend that if you still want that area code that's in the zip code that you're servicing, maybe you add that office and phone number instead of your cell phone number on it. The other thing I will scroll down here, guys, is this is the marketing website. This is your website that will appear on all of your marketing pieces. If you are a pro InTouch user, sometimes this does not change, so you will need to go through and change that URL. Or if you've purchased a third-party domain, maybe from GoDaddy or one of those other sites, you'll need to update. A couple of these other fields, guys, we'll touch base more on tomorrow, but these are fields that will be applied to your website widgets, such as the bio summary and the full bio. The last one down here at the bottom, guys, is the social media options, and these are the URLs that you would like featured on your InTouch website. You can add these at any time by going to the Add Social Media button. And because they're old school, guys, they still have MySpace on there as an option for any of you hipsters still using that. It's fuzzy and fast. The text is too small for me. Oh, Diana, I can zoom in. Better for you, Diana? Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me?
We lose you every couple seconds, and then it comes back.
Let me see here if I can grab my phone, my headset real fast. Let me see if that'll make it better. I think it's the curse of this weather, guys. We got some really bad thunderstorms this morning, so I'm wondering if that's affecting things. Can anybody confirm for me if this is any better?
Yes, it is for me.
Awesome.
Seems better.
Brenda. Woohoo! I'll set in from now on. That's good to know, guys. Thank you so much for letting me know. And Brenda, for your sound, is your sound turned up on your computer? I see Talia's typing, so I'm just going to give it just another second, guys. Oh, okay. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Please let me know if there's anything else that I can do to make things bigger or smaller. That's always really wonderful to hear back. But that is the overview of the social media options, guys, as it's just social options. Now I'm going to scroll back up here to the top, and I'm going to go to the office. And this, again, is the information as which it will reflect onto your website. I do occasionally see these set to Pacific time zones. Just because we're in a system that sometimes doesn't know where we are, it's helpful to make that edit and change that. The next one under here is the images. This will be the photo that you would like to appear on your marketing pieces as well as onto your website. This marketing logo up here in the center, guys, this is the logo of your print and digital pieces in InTouch. I would recommend that you use the blue one or the black luxury logo if you are a luxury agent, due to the fact that the white logo typically doesn't appear on some of those print pieces. Over here to the far right, guys, this is the office logo. So if you do have your own logo, this is where I would upload that field. Activity alerts is the wonderful Big Brother feature that we have for you guys to be able to stalk your consumers as they're clicking on and engaging on some of your pieces. If you are a member of a team or go to another email address or phone number, you can add those email addresses by clicking the add email or add mobile phone number. And a little bit of audio back, so I'm going to mute whoever is not muted. Sorry, guys, it just makes for a little weird audio on our back end. These notifications, I would recommend having these turned on if it is a system that you are going to be using heavily. I believe that having those alerts on there will help you stay active and up to date on all those. The last one down here, guys, is the daily activity. This is a refresher that you will get 24 hours later that generates all that information for you at the next day to let you know what activity was done on your website. Status setup. This is an opportunity for you who really like to have a visual of your pipeline to know what's going on. Some of the agents who I speak to specifically who are renter agents leveraging InTouch like to customize this pipeline to talk about the status properties. So maybe rentals that recently closed or ones that are pending to keep those process up to date. These appear on your InTouch homepage, and it can be a really great visual to know what's going on in your website or in your back end of your InTouch portal. The next one down here, guys, is MLS Setup. If you do not see your MLS Setup complete on here, please get in touch with your marketing staff and or your office admins or managers to add those onto the back end of your website. If you are a part of multiple MLSs, this can be nice because it will help with those auto generations of the flow of the properties onto your website. Does anybody have any questions thus far? I'm going to keep going here, guys. The next couple of ones I'm going to a little bit skip over since we had a little bit of issue with audio and I want to save time for the editing parts. If you are ordering any of those orders, it is wonderful to have that ability to look back and see those invoices. If you are looking to update your billing and shipping to multiple locations. Some tips that I have for that is if you are ordering print flyers or print pieces and you don't want them delivered to your office and you'd rather have them sent to your home or even to the listing address, you can add those underneath the billing and shipping tab. Email settings and integrations. And then the last one down here, guys, this is the integration capability for any of you guys paying for third-party leads. You can have those integrations kind of have all your eggs in one basket as a nice way to keep. I'll point out a couple of the big ones on here, guys, like Dotloop and Zillow and Trulia, but we do see them adding new ones of these all the time. So if you're ever paying for third-party leads, get with your marketing team about getting those connected for you guys. So now I'm going to go back to the home page. And we're going to talk about importing contacts. The most important thing whenever you're importing contacts, guys, I think is filling out that information to as much detail as possible. If you're creating a contact by scratch, you can add them by using the contact button. And you can see the status that you have built into your pipeline on here, what type of category they fall under, their phone numbers, their email addresses. One of my personal favorite ones is this referral information because it's so helpful for you guys to know who are you to thank for this potential client coming down the line for them. I think of also in the secondary details that I'm a person that I will remember pretty much every face. I'm terrible at remembering names. So if I had met one of the partners at an open house and maybe I didn't remember the wife's name, it would be very helpful for me to be able to keep track of them in that field there. Family members also really helpful that if you want to know how old Billy and Bob, their young kids are, so that way you can keep that in mind for future marketing purposes as well. One agent who I talk to regularly uses this as a way in order to know which elementary schools the kids are looking into. So that way when she's looking at finding them a new home, she remembers what school district the kids want. The last thing down here, guys, are the groups. And this is if you are looking to have people filtered into specific groups, you have the ability to assign them down here at the bottom. Another capability that if you are adding more than one contact, guys, is you can import contacts all at once. And the way that you would do that is going up to the import contacts field. And you can add through by adding into those lead streams down here to the side. You can set up integrations that way it feeds over from the 365 account. But over here to the far left is my personal favorite, and this is the import contacts field. That if you guys are looking to prepare a list in order to do a bulk import, you can click the start and import button and you can choose the file and upload it directly. I would highly recommend that you guys download the file template up here at the top left. This will create a CSV file for you guys to work off of in order to help with an easier integration process. Does anybody have any questions on importing contacts? Another part down here, guys, is underneath the listings tab. Is if you go to market my listings, this is where you can add your featured properties onto your InTouch website and also into your drip campaigns. So you'll kind of start to see where all these different layers and pieces are feeding in together, guys. If you do not have any properties, you will see that there are no listings populating onto your field. Fear not, you guys are all blessed with wonderful offices that have great inventory. So don't be afraid to go tab to the My Offices tab, and from there you will be able to choose your office's inventory. I'm currently not a member of MLS, so you will not see that field populate for me at this time. Now I'm going to move on to the fun part, which is why we're all here, guys, which is the Marketing tab up here at the top. If you go to the Marketing tab and click underneath the Marketing Center, you will be able to browse all of your marketing pieces in the marketing templates available in one area. I would recommend library. And for today's purposes, I'm going to start with the print marketing and then work through email and video, and then follow up lastly with the campaign templates. When I click underneath print marketing, I will be able to browse any of the postcards and flyers built into my InTouch. If you guys are a pro InTouch user, you will also have the ability to customize guides that will give you a unique branding opportunity as well. Now you'll see that there's only 455 postcards for you guys to choose from here. Who needs to look through all? So take advantage, guys, and use this collections tab over here on the far left. Based off of your metro, you will have very specific ones. I know that some of our I've seen a couple of our Dallas Fort Worth people have a really great listing concierge postcard ones they have in there, but you can also build your own local ones this way. If you're looking for people who are looking for listings, you can browse through your seller's marketing and look through some of those postcards as an option. You can also do what's called my personal favorite, which is browsing through the listing enabled. If you guys were representing the buyers and you did not have the opportunity to do listing concierge for Just Listed and Just Sold Blast, you may take advantage of looking through the listing enabled only pieces to see which postcards are built in for you guys. That is my overview for the postcards, guys. I'm now going to click underneath the flyers. And you'll see, just like before, guys, there's over 100 options for you guys to choose from on here. So some really great options for you guys looking to benefit from print pieces, to enjoy those opportunities that way. I'm going to click underneath this global luxury flyer to show you how easy it is for you guys to customize. If this is the property flyer that you want to choose from, again, depending on your price point is where you will be able to determine if you can use global luxury standard or not. And you will hit this personalize button. Hang on, let me go back 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. If you had the MLS number of the property, you would just type in the MLS address here to the top bottom. And when you hit the person, it will pull in the MLS photos into the property. This is where you will have that capability, guys, where all that information that we had previously looked over in the account settings will be auto-corrected for you guys, as well as all the information pulling in from the MLS feed. I think it can be really helpful whenever you're making these flyers to talk about, you know, the open house in Dallas. And I always like to leave off the negative part. I like to be sneaky like that. But as you're uploading the photos, guys, if you have the property in MLS and use that MLS number, you can always go over here to the replace button and you will see the option where you can pull in the photos from MLS. You can also upload your own at this time, as well as browse through some of the stock photos if you are looking to have a placeholder for any of those properties. Now, once you have finished customizing these fields, guys, again, you can go over here to the bottom to any of these fields. And you can customize by changing out the fonts. Please never use Comic Sans. I'm doing that because it's there, guys. I had to do Comic Sans. But you can see where customizing those fonts and that font size can be really helpful and very beneficial. If you ever mess up and you see how big I made this font, you can always just go back the undo button and see it go back to where it was before. Once you are happy with how the flyer looks, guys, you'll hit the save button. I'm just going to title this demo flyer. It's saving. And you'll see that it's now telling me that my saved design is now being saved. So when I click the OK button, guys, and I exit out of it, I can see where immediately I can go back and edit the fields. I can download the PDF and have it drop down to the bottom of my screen. And please forgive my internet, guys. It has been really funky because of this rain today. You can see where it downloaded down here at the bottom left. But I can also go ahead and check out and order my flyers directly from here. So you're seeing that they're about 10 cents a flyer right here. That's if I want them coded. If I want them non-coded, it's a little bit cheaper down there. I can change up that quantity and check out directly from there. Does any questions on print pieces? Okay. I'm going to now go back up here to the marketing tab, and I will again go back to the marketing center. And I will now, instead of clicking on the print marketing, I will click underneath the email and video marketing. And you'll see that instead of having the print box clicked, I have the email and video marketing selected. And I can browse over 1,000 email templates for me to be able to choose from for sending off. Again, these are one-off pieces. We'll talk more about the just a second. But if you're looking for a very specific one-off touch for anybody, you can browse through and look through by keywords. Some of my preferred ones for, especially if you're a newer agent, is to take a chance and browse through the new agent awards, the new agent Coldwell Banker message on here. This can make a really great warm welcome for anybody who has just joined our Coldwell Banker team and is looking in order to associate themselves with the more with that presence of the new brand. You can also, if I go back to this, I'm going to type in agent again so I can show you that any of our wonderful awards winning agents, yay, congrats to all you guys. There's also a really wonderful 2020 awards announcements that you can send out to people in your sphere that way. If you're wanting to use any of these pieces, I'm now going to go back and I'm going to hit agent again. Well, let's see here. I'm actually going to click off and use a different example. Let's say I want to send somebody something about sell. I can be typing in that keyword down here, or I can browse again by the collections in order to let them know what to look specifically for any marketing pieces. And when I found the one that I wanted to click on, I'm going to click this opportunity is knocking because it just always gets a kick at me to see that one. I can hit the personalize button. And again, I can see where all that beautiful graphic that I had selected is generated. As I go down to the bottom, any of the signature options that I put in through the account settings are, and I can make any changes to this that I want to. So I can say contact. Thanks. And your local real estate specialist. You can make any of those changes up here. You can always, as well as preview any of those pieces and send yourself a preview message and preview what it looks like on desktop as well as on mobile. When I go back to the edit bar, I can also look down. You can't embed videos onto print pieces, but let's say you had a wonderful introductory video onto here. You could go through and insert a video and insert in a URL that way. Once I had finalized the video and everything that I wanted to add on there, guys, I can hit save. And when I save that video, it again will be saved onto my homepage. And the wonderful thing about these email pieces, ability to hit publish to web and share. And if you're wanting to share these pieces on social media or Facebook, on LinkedIn, on one of those preferred sites, you can copy and paste that and have that be a post that you post online. Now I'm going to go back to the marketing tab and show you guys some of the marketing campaigns that exist for you. These are very specific for one-offs, but when we're talking about the consistent touch of having ways to stay in touch with people every single, based on certain cycles in their buying or selling process, I'll want to go back up to the marketing. And this time click underneath the campaign templates. Since I'm a base user, I only have 51 campaigns to choose from, but if you are a pro user, you will have additional ones built in there. Some of my personal capabilities that I love in here, guys, is the ability that you can create a custom campaign option, but you can also browse through these collections in order to see very specific ones on here. Due to popular requests, guys, we do have holiday campaigns built in here for you. So you can see a 2021 holiday. But one of my favorite ones that they have, they added this year is the Offbeat holiday campaign. There is one here that is the Offbeat holidays. It does include a couple of alcohol-induced holidays, such as National Wine Day and Margarita Day. So if you're worried that that may offend some people in your sphere, I would also recommend that you browse through and look through the Offbeat holiday campaigns as well. You can see by the tiles on here at the top, it will say if these are email ones or print pieces. As which one you are wanting to choose from. There's also ones, when I go back to the search bar, I'll show you this, that are labeled as multi-channel. And those are very specific ones that include both print and email and activity alert notifications. So I'm going to go back to my Offbeat holiday campaign, and you will see that at the description up here at the top to see what this campaign includes. It includes 12 email steps over 1 year. It includes very off-standard holidays in which we usually touch base with the sphere. I think of all, my past life, I was in the mortgage business and I would get constant holiday messages, but I wouldn't hear from my sphere unless it was during very specific holiday seasons. So I view this one as a really great, on those offbeat marketing pieces when they're not really, when your sphere and your people aren't typically being touched. I can click underneath the show campaign details to see which are the specific ones in here. I can click. So I click under, if you guys can't tell by how jumpy my voice is, I'm a coffee addict. So I can click this National Coffee Day one in order to browse through this. I spoke to an agent the other day who had a really wonderful way that they touched and customized these pieces, guys, was they took all these standard holiday ones and the offbeat ones and customized it with coupons or information about local restaurants that supported this. So any of my Austin people, Mozart's Coffee House is one of my favorite places, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But if I was campaign and really wanted to have a personalized touch with those, maybe I customize this to talk about things happening in your local Mozart's light show when it was during the Christmas time. If this is the campaign that you're wanting to use, you will hit choose this template. And from here, you can personalize and customize any of those pieces. You will see that we have already passed through the January and February ones on here. So those 12 steps have now been reduced now into 12 specifically. Oh, it put them down here at the bottom. That's very cool. So it kind of started to auto-populate some different ones on there. That's interesting. But I can go through and I can personalize each one of these steps to be more specific. So again, when I go to the personalize button, I can scroll down and I can customize any of these fields on here to be very specific with my information. As I hit save on these, I will see now instead of it saying obviously it's I can change it the subject line to, instead of being at National Puppy Day, I can say today is a puppy day. Something to that effect. You can also go through and you can change the alerts on these to be on different days if you want to remind your people maybe a day or so beforehand, before the specific holiday, in order to give them more notification. You can also drag and rearrange the dates if you would like these to be out of order. And then as I scroll down here to the bottom, once I've customized all these steps, I will hit save and continue. And last, on step number 3 is where I will add or remove the contacts. So again, having people in groups, guys, can be a huge instrumental help for any of those. is it is much easier for me to move 102 people over from a specific group rather than having to go through my contacts tab and individually add or remove people that way. Once I've added all the people I would like to hit, I will hit Save Changes. And when I go to step number 4, which is Review and Activate, oh, Bob has a good tip for us, guys. He says, make sure that any personalization applies to all of the peeps you are sending this campaign to. Great tip, Bob. I love that. Step number 4 is what you would like to do to review and activate the campaign. So when you go to for the first part, which is what do you want to do when the campaign ends? So once this campaign ends, most of my agents like to assign a letter, but maybe you want to follow up at the end of it and have them tied to a listing concierge. Per Bob's advice, make sure that it applies to all the people that you are assigning this to. But you can look at any other campaigns that you have previously customized, or you can click none if you want that to be the end of it. Including any of the showcase properties, we'll add any of those featured properties that you clicked using the featured properties tab. And lastly, you'll need to review and confirm that you are okay with sending this campaign. Now, I'm not going to hit activate because these are not this is not my farming area. I'm not these contacts pulled in from another demonstration. But once I hit activate campaign, that will activate the campaign and they will start to receive. Last thing I'm going to show you guys is when I am configuring these steps. Click those off so that way they doesn't go out. I would recommend that if you are looking at customizing and adding any steps to those, I view this one very effective if you are doing something like the anniversary or if you were setting people up on a holiday campaign and want to also get alerted about when those campaigns go out. The add step button, and you can add in a specific attachment into those as well. The activity alert is my favorite thing because I live and breathe by my calendar. I would be lost with it. None of my bills would ever get paid. So having an activity alert in my campaigns, typically I would view as the most effective way to stay in touch with these people. When I hit the add activity, guys, that's a really wonderful way that you can remind yourself to follow up with a task, a meeting, or even just a phone call. Specifically, let's say you want people who are your doggy people on March 23rd, that was doggy day. You could go to March 22nd and say, call all dog lovers about their dogs. Have that be a very specific alert to those specific people. And when you hit save and continue, that specific configured step will now be moved up here to the top. Do they have any questions on that? Okay, guys, we're almost out of time, so I'm going to close up here by hitting this cancel button here. I will show the last step on here, guys, is the Manage Campaigns template. This is where if you are ever looking to see the activity or the performance of any of the campaigns you have set up, guys. You will see if the campaign is active or paused based off of the tabs over here to the side. And you can browse through the performance by clicking through the where that step takes place. But that's all I have for you guys. This was only supposed to be a 30-minute session, and I'm afraid I went 4 minutes over. Thanks so much, guys. This was our first time teaching, or my first time teaching this one. Laura, my counterpart in Dallas, she taught this morning. She did a fantastic job. But we're combining all these classes into one Texas to really help with making sure that we're teaching all of our classes together. But if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Hope this worked out for you guys. I'm so sorry for the audio issues. Bob, you're up next, so no pressure.
Oh, I'm not till next week.
Oh, okay.
I'm the orange track, so.
We're just gonna blow you. We're gonna smoke you, Bob.
Yeah,
No
I'm writing down all my hints. A question: if I don't have listings, then is there a way to get listings or find out what listings are in my office?
There are. Great question, Bob. I see Linda Cordova Villanueva in my South office is messaging in it. So Linda, do you mind if I use yours as a demonstration for this purpose?
Sure.
Awesome. So the way to do that is I have to show with somebody who actually has access. So Linda, thank you for letting me use yours. Your name's just popping up right there. So I was like, it's one I recognize. I can pick on her. Is if you go up here, guys, to the top where it says listings, you'll do market my listings. And as you have inventory, yours will show up here as the showcase ones here. If you don't currently have any inventories, you'll go from the show my listings tab to my office's listings. And from here, you will see those featured properties. So Bob, to answer your questions, add the showcase properties onto your email by ensuring that the checkbox is clicked on the showcase my property marketing email. If you want these to be featured on your website, you will click the feature this property on my website.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
As I pose leading questions, no.
I love it. Does anybody else have anything? Well, guys, I'm going to stop the recording as well as a slide deck with some tips and best practices. But thank you, everybody, for hopping on today, and go sell some houses for us.